Good evening, everybody. Welcome along. It is Monday night, which means one thing: it is time for round 3 of the Cone Racing Academy here at CRL, and we are in Hanoi for the Vietnam Grand Prix. If you didn't tune in last week, then go ahead and check it out on our YouTube channel. Great drive from Warrior Huntsman around Suzuka. Saw him take both pole position and the victory. Can he replicate that form again today? We shall wait and see as we approach the short qualifying session. If this is your first time tuning in to CRA, let me give you a little bit of information. So CRA is the third tier here at CRL. It's what is sort of our development league. We want drivers to be able to come into league racing, whether they've raced on previous games and not the new one, whether they're new to league racing, or whether they're just trying to get to grips with the game. CRA is the place for them. So we do have 19 drivers tonight, unfortunately, and a few reserves taking those places, but there are 20 drivers that are all trying to improve their skills. We run a reduced format compared to our main tier, so we run an 18-minute short qualifying session followed by a 25% race, and one of the key differences is here at CRA we run reduced damage. Obviously we don't want people crashing out spectacularly on full damage and being unable to complete their laps and develop their skills. So already we see a few drivers taking to the track. Carter and Meister Letho. Carter, good result from him last week. Saw him take a podium place. I'm pretty sure he finished second, but just couldn't keep with the eventual race winner, Warrior Huntsman. Can he go one better today then? So he actually finished third behind Murphy then, and so he'll be looking to go even better. Whether that is second or first, we shall wait and see. But yes, we're here in the glorious Hanoi circuit here in Vietnam. Unfortunately we didn't get to see this race in real life, but that hasn't stopped it being implemented here in the game. Very, very tricky track. Obviously the walls are a tremendous problem at times. Don't want to be hitting them on your lap, and it can severely ruin your chances. So as we are already 3 minutes into this session, then we'll jump on board with Meister Letho and guide you on a lap of this track here in Hanoi. So the DRS opens just before the start finish line, then it's a long run down in towards turn 1, and but Meister Letho runs very, very wide. You've got to be a tight apex on the left is the best line through that. Then you shift up through the gears for this right-hander of turn 2 before it cuts away on the left-hand side for turn 3. 23 circuits here at this circuit, and this is the first DRS zone on the run down to turn 4. As you see the chicane there, and the AI of Murphy gets in the way of Meister Letho as it comes through the chicane of 4 and 5, then through this long winding left-hander on to the longest straight here in Hanoi. Opening DRS for the second time on this lap. Down in towards the harsh braking zone of turn 11. Then you want to get up through the gears. It's a 90-degree right-hander for turn 12, and then the tight and twisty mid-section for sec 2, 13, 14, 15 and 16 all come at you quite sharply before turns 18 and 19. Sorry, this is turn 18. Then turn 20 into 21 before you come around the final corner. Then stay a little bit away from the wall, open your DRS and complete a lap. So it's a 139.5 from Meister Letho. Who's going to cross the line next? We shall wait and see. It was Carter, so 139.4, but then Harvey goes top of 138.7. You can see the difference there with Meister Letho being caught out by that AI of Murphy. As the Alfa Romeo Shadow Moody comes across the line. Where is that? So number 4 for Shadow Murphy. Vegas goes pole 137.84. The Mercedes standing driver. We see Capuanda crosses the line third. There's a Renault there. That's Wolf Gaming a 138.0. So some quick times already being set in this session. A lot of the drivers then opting to go for that softer tyre. D-Morts goes fourth on the mediums. In the 7FO, there's a Red Bull in the background. Man, Super Gabu. Wow, what a time. A 137 flat. Sees him take provisional pole as the other Red Bull comes across the line. So Crash Gaming 140.5 sees him go into P11. We've got a racing point there alongside him as well. That's JD 1906 up into third. So some quick early laps then in this session. I was going to mention about the short qualifying format with just 18 minutes to get yourself as high up the grid as possible. It doesn't really allow much for strategy. You have two options. You either opt for the medium tyres and sacrifice a bit of starting position, but have the better strategy going into the 25% race, or you try and go for track position by going on those softer tyres, as Carter goes up to fourth then on his second flyer. Meister Letho goes up to 139.5 but doesn't improve on position. There's more drivers coming across the line than you can think. Nelu Safu goes into P7. We await the other Mercedes of Vegas to come round the line again. Oh, he's clipped the wall though, and he stays in fifth place then. Who's that guy? Capuanda goes top, a 136.9. There's a Renault coming from the line. That's Wolf Gaming, only a 137.9 from him. What about the Haas? Where can they go? That is Champion Dino. He's about to start his lap, so he'll jump aboard then into turn 1. Manages to keep the car in between the two lines as we come round turn 2 then. Down into the left-hander of turn 3. Down then into run towards turn 4 for the end of the first DRS zone. What sort of time is this from Champion Dino? We wait to find out as he comes through the long winding left-hander. Down on the back straight now. Will he be able to pick up a slipstream from the car in front of him? I think that is the Renault of either Fiscio or Wolf Gaming. Comes down then into the sharp braking zone. Got to be a little bit careful here. You don't want to go too deep and it'll really muck your line up as you come out of that then. Wolf Gaming getting in the way of Dino, so unfortunately for the Haas driver this is not going to be good, and he's going to have to back off his lap. He goes purple in sector 2, but that traffic seems to cost him a little bit there. Not as bad as Monaco, but still can cost you a few places then as he comes round turns 18 and 19 up towards turn 20. See pit lane drifts away on the left hand side there. Round turn 21 then from Champion Dino in the Haas. What sort of time will this be? Can he beat Capuanda? No, he goes fifth for 137.6. So went purple sector 2 but caught up in that traffic. Yes, Chris, unfortunately you are stuck with me. It is indeed Draper on the mics again. Welcome along to all of you tuning in, and those CRC tiers 1 and 2 drivers. Nice to see them coming to give the Academy boys a good show. So currently with 8 minutes gone in this session, almost halfway through, D-Mort's the only driver opting for the medium tyre. He is currently in P10, but it's Capuanda who sets the pace of 136.9, puts him on a pole position. Super Gabu is second. Fiscio rounds out the top 3. Then it's Jay off, one of our reserves tonight. He currently takes 4th. We've got Dino, George, Champion Dino in 5th, and Carter, and all Haas 3rd row then. Mercedes of Vegas and Wolf Gaming are closely followed by Delu, Safu and D-Mort. As you can see just how close it is there. the top few drivers only within a second or two of each other. Expect to see some improvement from the likes of Ninja and Shadow Moody. So last week's winner, Warrior Huntsman, then on his lap, he goes purple, sector 2 then. As he comes down through turn 12, this 13, 14, 15 and 16 is one of the most flowing sections on the calendar. Comes around turn 17 and 18. Through 19 then into 21, which is this lovely tight 90-degree left-hander. But Warrior Huntsman, you can see there's run out of VRS on this lap. Has come through the final corner. What sort of time is this going to be? Oh, 136.7, 2/10 flicker. 2/10 quicker even than his teammate Capo Wanda. Good lap from him. Remember, he's looking for back-to-back poles. Welcome back, Matt. A few issues there here at Vietnam. Luckily, he'll be able to go out and set a lap time. He's got about 8 minutes left. Probably enough time to get 2 flying laps in, but it might have to be on that same set of tyres. We see Racing Slade then going for his first effort in this session, looking to score well for McLaren. Down then into the braking zone for turn 4. Nice and tight to the left-hand curb as he comes round. Opens his DRS for the second time then. Down then in towards the lovely camera angle at turn 11. As we see then, we've got just over 7 minutes left in the session. It's currently an Alpha Tauri 1 and 2, Super Gabba in 3rd, and Champion Dina then up to 4th place. What a lap from him. He suffered the audacity of a 5-place grid penalty last week on his debut in Suzuka, but he's up in 4th place then. Fischer dropping out of the top 3 into 5th. I expect to see him go again though as Racing Slade comes around the final corner to set his first time of the session, and it's a good effort, 137.5 as JD goes even quicker. Wow, look at the difference there, 7/10 between him and Warrior Huntsman. Very, very good lap from the stand-in Racing Point driver. Puts that Racing Point then and knocks the second Alpha Tauri of Capawanda onto row 2. We've got another 6 minutes left. I'm expecting there to be a lot of tyre wear and degradation in the race, but also track evolution as this session continues to go on. If you're looking to set a 1-lap flyer, I'd expect you'd be out with about 2 minutes and 30, 2 minutes 15 left to go, to give yourself a real shot at getting round on time. Still 2 drivers yet to set a time. That's Matt Warner and Murphy. At D-Morts, will we see him again? He's the only driver currently on those medium tyres. As we see Racing Slade coming around once more through turn 11. We'll go back on board then with some of the other drivers as Champion Dino dives into the pit lane. I think we've got the Williams of Ninja is on a flying lap. He's coming around the final few corners. Comes across the line currently P15 with a 140.0. He can't improve on his position, but he can improve on his time of 139.7. Here we go then. Matt Warner starts his lap, spotting the number 4 of Lando Norris. Fischer dropping down once again, down to P7. Nelu Safu takes 6th place. As we see Matt coming through the first sector then. Will this be green? I expect it will, because he's not set up. So 26.8 in that first sector. Then you can see in the distance his teammate there on the same set of tyres though. Does have time to pit, but we shall wait and see. Murphy, the only driver not yet able to think it. Oh, we have got a technical issue with my PlayStation. I do apologise. Oh, there we go, all sorted. Apologies for that once again. JD currently on a pole then. Very, very close on track. As we see the Ferrari looking very, very racy in qualifying. Here's the current pole position. As Demorts has disconnected from the session, unfortunately. As Fisio as well has gone. Ninja has left the session too. Not quite sure what is going on here. Crash leaving the session as well. As Fisio gets disqualified from the session. I am very, very unsure as to what's going on here. Apologies for the delay, everybody. Seems we have an issue with the lobby. As it seems now that everybody has been kicked from the session. Ladies and gentlemen, problem with the session there, but we are back here hopefully with sound. Not quite sure what's going on with that, but we are back and qualifying is finished then. So as it remains, JD has taken pole position at 136.009, Nelu Safu a 136.089, and Kappa Wanda with a 136.097 sees the top three separated by less than a tenth. Super Gabu and Warrior Huntsman are 4th and 5th. It's a great qualifying from Champion Dino. He's gone 6th. Fisio in 7th. MUFC Harvey 8th. Carter 9th. And the McLaren of Racing Slade currently on a lap takes the 10th place. But look at that though, he's on 4 lap old softs. As we have the sound back once again. Codemaster servers wreaking havoc with the CRA stream here tonight. But there it is, qualifying is complete here at round 3, and your pole sitter is JD 1906. What a substitute performance this has been for him. He is just 800ths quicker than one of our other stand-ins, Nelu. I told you track evolution was going to be big, and it has shown that. 3 drivers then in the 136 flats, 6/10 clear of Kappa Wanda, who out-qualifies his teammate. Last week's pole sitter and winner Warrior Huntsman splitting the Alpha Tauris is the sister Red Bull of Super Gabu. It's the Haas of George. Champion Dino in 6th. The Renault official takes 7th after being in the podium positions early on during this session. Then it's Harvey in the red Ferrari, that is 8th. So 2 Ferraris in the top 10. Carter is 9th and Racing Slade 10th. Then going down the order, it's Shadow Moody, Matt Warner out of Vegas, Wolf Gaming, D-Morts, Meister Letho, Black Ninja and Crash Gaming. D-Morts then opting to come off the medium tyre for a lap, but couldn't improve, so he will still have that choice of medium tyres. Shadow Moody looking to maybe start on those mediums to take advantage of the alternate strategy. Unfortunately some connection issues for Murphy then, but he is going to be able to take part in the race, which is the good thing. We just wait for the final few seconds to tick down before we can get on with the race here at Hanoi in Vietnam. Welcome back to all of you that are tuning back in once again. as Nicholas Latifi joins the party. Nicholas Latifi starting down in P20. So there we have it. The grid is set for round 3 of the Cone Racing Academy here in Vietnam. We've had 2 races and 2 different winners. Will it be 3 for 3? We shall see. It's JD in the Racing Point that starts on pole position. There you can see just how close it was at the top. All 3 of them within a tenth, up to about 6/10 clear of their closest challenger. But remember, one-shot pace and race pace is completely different. You clip those walls in the race and you could be struggling. Apologies for all of that delay we've had with the lobbies there. We are finally getting around then to start the race here for round 3 of the Cone Racing Academy. If you're watching for qualifying, it is JD 1906 who's on pole ahead of Nalu and Capo Wanda, all of which were separated just by 0.09 of a second. And you can see as well just how different this session is going to be to qualifying. We have got the rain. So it's raining here for the first time in the Cone Racing Academy Season 2. How will our drivers fare around this tricky Vietnam street circuit remains to be seen. But as we await the drivers to start sorting their setups, we can begin to wonder how this race is going to go. Some of the big braking zones at this circuit: turn 1, turn 11, as we see there the tyres strategy, if they can go to the end till lap 13, but they can do a one stop, and if so they'll be looking at about lap 7, as Carter, PFC and Shadow Moody already collide on the formation lap, so they won't be able to warm up their tyres. Warrior Huntsman and Dino as well also came with each other. So there you are, lap 7, roughly when you can expect to see a pit stop, if at all. I don't know whether the weather is looking up at all, but for now Jay on pole, then followed by Nelu and Capuando. I said they were separated by just a few hundredths in qualifying. The closest battle we've had in qualifying all season. I mean, we're only in round 3, but still. Murphy then disqualified as well. Quite a few people having contact in there. So Capuanda in 3rd. Super Gabu in the Red Bull splits the Alpha Tauris. Champion Dino then in 6th, following last week's qualifying where he suffered that magnanimous 5-place grid penalty for a collision. But he's up in 6th place. It's Fisher in 7th with Harvey in 8th. 2 Ferraris in the top 10. Carter is 9th. Anna Racing Slade rounds out the top 10. For the rest of the grid then, row 6 is Shadow Moody and Matt Warner, Vegas and D-Morts, Meister Letho, Ninja, Crash Gaming is in 17th, and Murphy rounds out the back of the grid. Unfortunately, we have had an issue with one of our drivers, Wolf Gaming, unable to join us. He is having some internet connection issues, so we are down to 18 drivers for this session then. Can Jay make it 3 winners this season? To come through the final 2 corners, the AI will take control of their cars and it will line them up on the grid, and it won't be long till lights out for round 3 here at CRA. So here we go then. They're lining up on the grid. We'll quickly jump on board with Crash so we know when the grid is formed. So there is the racing point of Meister Letho pulling into his slots, and we can see the green flag waving the marshal in the background there as the cars magically adjust themselves straight. You wouldn't have that in an F1 real life now, would you? So there we go. The grid is set. We await the 5 red lights. 3, 4. There's the 5th red light. And we are racing for round 3 here in Vietnam. It's a good start from JD, but he's down in not 6th. In first, that's the Ferrari looking down the inside, and they look like they might have touched. Has Nelu touched Jay? No, he's not. So the top 3 all got through quite safely. The Renault of Fisher then ignore the fact that it says Demorts is in first. He quite clearly is not. It looked like we had a spinner then. Is that Harvey spinning? It is indeed so. Harvey already spinning into the wall. As Jay leads then coming into turn 5. And the first of the right-handers. There we go, Mike. I think, oh, a little bit wide there from Nelu though. Capawande looking to close the gap. They've already pulled away from Fisher, who's up to 4th place. What a start. He's managed to jump Gabu, Huntsman and Dino then in the battle for the final podium position. Remember, the first big braking zone is coming up. Excuse me. Who is going to make it? It looks like the front 2 I've got there as we drop down the back of the grid. There's a move there from Super Gabu on Warrior Hutch. Oh no, and there's contact. Meister Letho's hit the back of the Hassan. He is spun round. Oh, and it's caused a little bit of chaos. Oh, and he's spun with the... Oh, the Mercedes almost into the wall there. Rear end twitching all over the place. As the champion Dino runs wide then into the second sector. Crash Gaming already up 7 places into P10. But Jay leads by 2 seconds. Oh, that's a very wide line from the Ferrari. He's got front wing damage, so he will need to pit then. As he pulls to the side of the road to let the cars through. Capawanda up 2 seconds. There you go, the Ferrari pulling into the pit lane. See, JD then crosses the line and starts lap 2. 3 seconds clear of Capawanda. Fisher splits the Alpha Tauris. Racing Slade with a good start as well. He's up into P7. We've got battles all the way down the field. The Racing Point and the Williams go side by side. The Williams goes round the outside, but there is a slight touch and he gets that move stuck on the inside of turn 3. Ninja up into... Oh! And Vegas touches the side of Crash Gaming and he is around into the wall. What's happened at the front? JD not spun. My telemetry is providing me with not the correct information. We saw there Vegas spinning in the Mercedes. How he managed to get back up and run again. He has luckily no damage for him. So Nelu, both Ferraris having to pit on the first lap after touching these treacherous walls here at Vietnam already. Seeing potential no stop ruined by that damage, meaning they can probably take those tyres till the end of the Grand Prix on lap 3 now, according to race. It feels like we've only had 2, but there we go. Lap 3 it is, as JD leads by almost 5 seconds now. He's running away with it almost at the front. We've got the 2 Alpha Tauris in second and third. We'll jump on board with last week's winner, Warrior Huntsman, as he stares at the gearbox of his teammate, who gets very, very close to the wall there at turn 16. As we see the yellow flags then down the back of the grid. Is that Meister Letho? It is indeed Meister Letho. He's gone into the wall, lost a bit of his front wing. He will need to pit again. Matt dropping down the field then in that McLaren. Yeah, once again we see that front wing damage on these cars. It is very treacherous in these conditions and the very enclosed track doesn't help. So it's Jay that leads by 4 seconds. The 2 Alpha Tauris then looking at Super Gabu, makes a move on Fisher, but Fisher's going to stick it down the inside. A little bit of a kick out from the rear of Gabu, but he's going to try and get around the outside into turn 4, and he gets the move done. He's up into 4th. Oh, as we see the McLaren of Racing Stage having a bit of a kick out there. This is the battle for P9. Crash currently leads Ninja and Carter as they start their run down towards turn 4. Remember, no DRS as it is raining. Oh, lovely camera angle there shows just how close this grid is at times. Is that Haas looking down the inside of the Williams car? Oh, he gets very, very close, almost pushes himself into the wall, but he manages to get away from that incident and stays in P11. As we go back up the field, we can see the two Alpha Tauris still within touching distance of one another. The Capawande's got a better exit, and you can see him starting to pull away a little bit now from his teammate. Can Super Gabu catch them up in these next few laps? What about the race leader, JD? He's absolutely loving these wet conditions. We've got yellow flags once again. Looks like it's Crash Gaming. And he's gone into the wall. Not what he would have wanted. That will be a front wing change, I think number 5 across the grid, and you can see the extent to the damage there. Severely lacking downforce through this middle sector. What about Murphy? Is he going to be able to get through there? As you can see just how much downforce effect this crashes in the wall again. So that downforce really costing him then, as D-Morts and Racing Slade are battling it out for P7, but Racing Slade into the pit lane. Is that for a front wing? We shall see. We've got yellow flags once again for Crash Gaming, who's really struggling without that front end on his Red Bull car. There you go, it is a front wing for Racing Slade. As we see Vegas up into the points. That battle with Ninja. Seeing in the front is D-Morts looking to close their gap on him. As MUFC Harvey on that fresh set of inters sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:52.6. A far cry from the 1:29s we were seeing in qualifying, but that was in dry conditions. These wet tyres not as quick, unfortunately, as we see Carter and Crash both into the pit lane then. So several cars suffering the infamity of colliding with these Vietnam walls. But one driver with no such problem is this man, the race leader, JD1906. His gap to P2 is 4.3 seconds. We're almost a third of the way through this 14-lap race. Remember, there is no mandatory pit stop as it is raining. Capawanda has now pulled out a 2-second gap to his teammate. They are second and third. It's Super Gabu trying to chase down the sister team in 4th. Fischer holding his position well in 5th. Champion Dino not far behind, though. This is probably one of the closest battles on track for 5th place, as Dino runs wide in turn 19. Round turn 20, there you go. Once again, no DRS in the wet oars. Fischer runs very, very wide, but he manages to keep the Renault front end away from that wall. But you can see there, Fischer has no front wing end plate on his right hand side. Is that going to cost him with the Haas chasing him down? We shall see. We've got 9 laps to go. There's more wing damage, this time on the Williams of Ninja. Some of these drivers opting to stay out then rather than pitting for a front wing. 152.3 for the Ferrari of Harvey, currently down in 14th place. What about his teammate Nelu? Another sufferer of a front wing change on those opening laps. He's chasing down 11th place, currently occupied by Murphy then. As they come down on the run towards turn 4, overtake Martin depleted, but you can see just how quickly it can be used up here. There is a Ferrari sandwich as Racing Slade sits in 13th. There is the quickest man on track at the moment, MUFC Harvey, in 14th place. He's going to be able to get a good exit and make a move down in the run towards turn 11. Oh, and the Racing Slade hits the wall. Wonder whether his man suffered any damage. As it's a drag race now down towards turn 11. Who's going to blink last in that braking zone? It looks like Racing Slade's going to be in front, but will Harvey make a late lunge? He thinks better of it, thinks no. It's too wet, and you can see there Racing Slade just braking that a little bit too late, and he's gone severely wide. That's allowed the Ferrari through. He'll now be chasing down his teammate for 12th. Oh, as the... Oh! as the Mercedes run wide. The Ferrari of Nello tried to avoid him, but he's ended up in the wall. That will be another front wing change for him. Was looking quick after that original pit stop, but he will need to come into the box again. So we see now up through this top 10 here in Vietnam. Champion Dino missing a bit of his front wing on the right hand side, you can see it there. So a lot of these top drivers are struggling to keep away from the Hanoi concrete. Nelly Safu is given a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Yeah, Jacob, unfortunately for the Ferrari driver, tried to avoid the Mercedes that was running wide. It's Crash Gaming has hit the wall. You can see there on the little mini map around about turn 17 or 18, Crash Gaming is in the wall, and he is our first retirement from round 3. Virtual safety car is here. No full safety car means that the drivers have to reduce their speed by 70%. Keep it within that delta time. You do not want it to be red when the racing resumes, otherwise you'll be going through that Hanoi pit. And there it is. There is the crash car of Crash Gaming, as there we go. Green flags, and luckily no one suffering the fate of a drive-through penalty. But Warrior Huntsman right up against his teammate now. Champion Dino and Demort's going tooth and nail through the middle sector. Not much room to manoeuvre and overtaking opportunity. You can see just how much Dino's trying to fight with the car as Harvey makes a move on Murphy. Then he's up into P11, back up to the front. Then Warrior Huntsman and Super Gabu now in this three-way fight for third and second. Podium positions on offer for these drivers. JD almost checked out at the front halfway through this race. And we're hearing that Crash Gaming was trying to go a bit faster in these wet conditions with a damaged wing, and unfortunately catching that bit of wall that sent him out of this race. You can see in the background there is the battle for P2, just under 2 seconds separating these three drivers, all with their wings intact as well. Is Warrior Huntsman going to be able to have a run on his teammate down towards turn 11? Remember, it's a long old straight. What about Super Gabu? Is he in that slipstream and able to make use of it? It looks like he's dropped off a little bit, but the gap between him and Fisher is 12 seconds. So this front group now then racing for almost 2 positions. And they remain in sync as we come through the second sector now. Not many places for an overtake. We come down now to the battle for the final few points. Shadow Moody looking to chase down Vegas, who himself is trying to chase down Ninja. Ninja once again showing his nous of coming through the field. He's up into P8. And the unfortunate drivers, 2 McLarens then, 13th and 14th. Is Racing Slade going to look to make a move into this braking zone? Looks like Murphy's just about going to have the line and distance. Yeah, there we go. Oh, and he's almost tapped the back of that Mercedes. That would not be good for relations next year. McLaren getting that Mercedes engine from 2021 then. But you can see just how much confidence. Oh, as Murphy runs wide, but so does Slade. 5-second penalty for Champion Dino as he comes into the pit lane then. Looks like it's another front wing change in this race. We've had 7 completed laps. We're on lap 8. The gap between the leader and second place is 2.3 seconds, so that gap has come down. The pressure from his teammate and the sister car of the Red Bull has given Capawanda a bit of a rocket up the bum. 2.37 seconds then. As you can see just how close they are as they come through turn 9 and 10. Run down towards 11 now. Is the slipstream going to be able to work for any of these drivers? Doesn't look like it. This time Super Gabu dropping back a little bit more through that second sector. But more importantly, the gap now down to just 1.5 seconds. Has Jay made a mistake there? No, it's just the slow nature of that corner. As Carter and Matt are fighting for position, then coming out of turn 2. The Haas is around the outside, but he runs wide. That's going to give the McLaren driver a look down the inside. Oh, we've got Racing Slade round. Racing Slade has had contact and he is round. Meister Lather getting past Matt. Oh, both McLarens spinning at the same time. We switch from one McLaren and he has spun. His teammate spun, sorry, and we switch back to the McLaren and he has spun. Both McLarens struggling in these wet weather conditions. MUFC Harvey on a mission then. He's back up into P9 after that front wing change. He's now split the Mercedes and is looking to chase down Vegas JV. That gap 1.7 seconds as they come through sector 2. What about the front of this race then? 2.3 is this gap once again, but Capoande's rear end not liking turn 2 at the moment in time. His teammate is just half a second behind him. Is he going to have a look down into turn 4? He's probably the closest he's been for a while. Oh, there's a little bit of a glitch there, but is he going to be late on the brakes? Is he going to have the confidence? No, he thinks better of it as Capoande goes a little bit too tight on the apex. Oh, but he manages to block his teammate. Oh, a big kick out from the rear. Is that going to allow Super Gabu to look down the inside? Not this time. Better traction from Warrior Huntsman. Once again, he's going to have a run on his teammate. This battle ever increasing through this Grand Prix, allowing Jay to pull away at the front of this race then as MUFC Harvey has got past the Mercedes of Vegas. We got yellow flags once again in sector 2. That is for Matt Warner then coming into the pits for his front wing change. Or as Warrior Huntsman still in the gearbox of his teammate, but remember the tyre wear is still going to be a lot harder and harsher in the dirty air, despite the fact that we're still running wet conditions. This group have extended the gap to 5th place by a few seconds now. That's 15.5 seconds for Fichot, who's running a little bit of a race of his own. He's got 6 seconds to Dean Mort behind. Gaps really starting to appear now throughout this field. But once again, this battle rages on into lap 9. So it's finished lap. Oh, and the Capowander's rear end did not like the exit of turn 21 as Super Gabu looks down the outside of Warrior Huntsman into turn 1. Who's going to be the latest on the brakes? Warrior Huntsman manages to keep his line, forces the Red Bull off track, but is now back in the racing line as Capawande keeps his 2nd position then. Warrior Huntsman still within that half a second gap to his teammate, looking to use overtaking that run down towards turn 4. But once again, doesn't look like he's going to be close enough. That little skew with the Alpha Tauris has dropped Super Gabu by about half a second. He's once again got to chase down that position as Warrior Huntsman makes a move down the inside of Capawande and he moves up into 2nd place. So he took victory last week and he now moves up into 2nd. He's been staring at his teammate's gearbox for the last few laps and he is now passed. Now all he has got to do is clear his teammate, but he's got the slipstream in the run down towards turn 11. Is Capawande going to make a late move? He pulls to the right hand side, but it doesn't look like it this time. He backs off then into turn 11 and Warrior Huntsman keeps 2nd position. As we go down the grid, we see Racing Slade in the pits once again for another front wing as Meister Letho and Nilu take their positions. So we see MUFC Harvey continuing his charge. He's got that gap down to 1.7 seconds, chasing Mooch then. Mooch still with that front wing damage. Going to be slow in these harsher braking zones. How close can Harvey get on this lap? We've got just 4 laps to go. So you can see just how close it is. Capawande is given a 5-second penalty then. So Capawande dives into the pit lane and gets a 5-second penalty. Surely he has suffered some wing damage because he was keeping pace with his teammate and the Red Bull, but he has dived into the pit lane. That allows Warrior Huntsman now a bit of free air. He's got Super Gabu 1.7 seconds behind as they come round for lap 11 of this Grand Prix. Jay looking very comfortable at the front race in the Racing Point. Fischio up into 4th place but you can still there. He's still has front wing damage. Bit of a theme from this grid as Capawande comes out the pits. Where's it going to be? He gets ahead of the Renault, so he's got 3 laps to close that 16-second gap. We got yellow flags in sector 2. There's a McLaren. That is Racing Slade once again misjudging the braking zone. 11-0, and he's straight into the wall. His teammate struggling as well. You can see very slow through the apex of that corner, but his teammate unfortunately will need to change his front ring once again. Now we see the battle for 4th place. Fischio was 15 seconds adrift of 4th place, but after Capawande dives into the pit lane, that gap is now just a second. Good traction though on those fresher inters from the AlphaTauri as the gap starts to widen down in towards turn 1. Oh, we've got yellow flags once again. It looks like a McLaren. Yeah, Racing Slade's gone very, very wide. He's missed the pit lane and he has no front wing. So Racing Slade will have to complete a lap with no front wing. Will his teammate be able to get past safely? We'll stay on board with this. But there you go then. So Super Go push leather. MUFC Harvey is up into P7. In the run down to turn 11. Doesn't need the braking zone. He is past. What a great charge after pitting early for a fresh front wing. Demort's race of his own once again in 6th place. Great drive from him. As champion Dino, the Racing Slade has retired, so we have lost another car from this race. Racing Slade is out. He has hit the wall in turn 3. You can see on the left hand side there, and he is no longer in this race. Warrior Huntsman now has pulled a 2-second gap to Gabu, but he's also got a 2-second gap of his own to close down to the race leader. We have got just 2.5 laps to go here in round 3 of the Cone Racing Academy. Capawande was fighting for a podium but decided to pit, presumably for a front wing change, but he is now pulled away from Fischio and is looking to close that gap to Super Gabu. Remember, one thing I don't have to hand is the time penalties. We know that Capawande has a 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane, but we don't know what happens to the rest of the grid. A champion Dino makes a move on the Mercedes of Vegas. He takes 9th place. Then you can see he's got 8 lap fresher tyres, and they seemingly work. His next target will be Ninja, who is 7 seconds up the road. As we see yellow flags once again. Matt Warner struggling in these conditions. Another front wing damage there, you can see. Opting not to pit, however, though, with just a few laps to go. He's thinking he can maneuver that papaya machine around for a few more laps. Gap between him and Meister Lefo is a pit stop anyway, so he would only make it wider. So Jay starts his penultimate lap of the race. Then he's got 2 seconds to Warrior Huntsman behind, who's got another 2 seconds to Gabu behind. These three pulling away now from Capawande, who seemingly cost himself a high finish by opting to pit. I can only assume once again that he suffered front wing damage. Had the pace to keep up with his teammate, kept him behind for quite a few laps before Huntsman got that move done. We've got yellow flags in sector 2 once again, and it looks like there's a Mercedes gone long at turn 11. It is indeed Murphy. Misjudged the braking zone and has gone straight on. He's now got Nelu all over the back of him. Been a bit of a harsh race for Nelu. Was running well after his first pit stop, but spun it into the wall here after a Mercedes lost it at the same corner. So he is down in at 40. Oh, as the Mercedes hits the wall really hard there. You can see just how much a loss of downforce costs you here in Hanoi. Jay then has lost a bit of time to Warrior Huntsman. Warrior Huntsman on a charge. He's got 1.5 laps to go. Can he get that gap down from 1.3 seconds? You can see that he has more ERS than Jay, but neither driver has a lot in reserve, as Racing Slade has already retired. Unfortunate for him tonight then. McLaren's point streak will end. Or Super Gabu's rear end steps out a little bit, but he is still 12 seconds clear of the second AlphaTauri, meaning he is more than likely going to finish on the podium. But you can see there front wing damage once again on these cars. The Mercedes of Murphy really struggling, as is Meister Latho then. Battle of the Mercedes, one pink, one black. And it's Murphy with a damaged front wing that stays ahead on this, the final lap of the Grand Prix. There is the back marker of Matt Warner, but JD starts his final lap. Is he going to be able to stay ahead for this 3.8 mile lap? We shall wait and see. On board with Warrior Huntsman as he chases down his second consecutive race victory. Gap down below a second now. He's really had a charge these last few laps. It looks like there's a Ferrari going slow at turn 11. That was Naylor's. Champion Dino is up past Mooch then, and Capowanda has overtaken Super Gabu. So Super Gabu has had a big mistake. He's dropped almost 20 seconds on the leaders. Oh, and he's hit the wall. I'm not quite sure what's happened there, but Super Gabu really struggling in these last few laps, and he has cost himself a podium, whether that's the weather or himself. As Warrior Huntsman's looking down the outside of Jay as they touch almost into turn 11. Jay keeps the outside line, but Warrior Huntsman's going to have a look up the inside. Who's got the better traction? It's the Racing Point who stays ahead as we come through the final few corners of Sector 2 into the third sector. Warrior Huntsman, runs very wide though, and has that gifted the Racing Point the victory. He's dropped a second through just that one corner. Capawande 16 seconds behind, has got a gap to Fisher then, as Super Gabu really struggling. He's down in 7th place now, was running third, but unfortunately now in things. Super Harvey, not Super Harvey, MUFC Harvey up into 6th. What a great drive from him. As we jump on board with the Racing Point as Jay comes across the line and he takes victory here in Hanoi. He's led from start to finish, and Warrior Huntsman, a great drive, sees him come through in second. As Champion Dino and Ninja both take places off of Gabu, who spun unfortunately once again. Is he going to finish in the points? We wait to see. But it's Capawanda who comes round the final corner then and takes the final podium. A great result for the Alpha Tauris. They come across second and third. What about Fisher and Demors? Who's going to come across the line in fourth? It's going to be Fisher, but what about penalties? He stays ahead. MUFC Harvey crosses the line in 6th. Great drive. Harvey suffering a front wing damage in that first lap. In those first few laps, sorry, comes across the line to take 6th after quite a... Dino hits the wall on the exit, but he will come across the line in 7th. Mooch will take 8th place, but he overtakes George on penalties. That 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane costing him dearly. Vegas will come across the line then and take P9. Shadow Moody will take our final points position then, should he not have penalties, as cut across the line. No, he stays in 10th. So we wait the final few drivers. I'm so unfortunate for Super Gabu, was running really well in this race, up in the podium positions for about 13 laps, and then he just lost it, and he will not score points this race. He will come through in 14th as Meister Letho is in a low fuel mode by the looks of things. No, he's just let the Red Bull of Super Gabu cross the line in 13th. Letho will cross the line 14th, and we just await the stricken Mercedes of Murphy to cross the line and complete round 3 here at the CRA, as JD in the Racing Point takes the victory. Alpha Tauri 2 and 3 as Warrior Huntsman leads Kappa one day. Great drive from Mooch as well through the field, sees him take the driver of the day. And there it is, Racing Point on the top step for the first time this season. Alpha Tauris continue their strong performances here at CRA. Good win for the Racing Point driver. So penalties costing Capuanda, not so much with that damage to Super Gabu, means he finished outside the points. Fisher takes a very respectable 4th place for Renault. What a drive from Demorts on reserve, up from 14th to 5th. Mooch getting another driver of the day from the game. He's up into P7th from 16th. Harvey, after that early spin, takes the fastest lap point at 152.3 on those fresh inters as he goes into 6th place. So that is it from here in rainy Hanoi. It's the Racing Point on top as we move into Australia next week. Thank you to everybody that tunes in. Remember, all races are streamed live on the CRC on the CRL YouTube channel, as is the ability to watch all previous races. So thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you at Albert Park next week.